Hi friends, Chandrasekhar again. We have already seen all the grahas and how they operate. There is always a confusion in the mind of most of the astrologers about what is the significance of a Vakri graha, the retrograde planet. There are many opinions. Uttar Kalamruta says that Vakri, that is retrograde, when in exaltation gives results of planet in debility. If in debility he gives results of being as if in exaltation, and then in Graha and Bhavabala we find that he gains thrice the strength. So what is retrogression and how we should view it if we look at the entire science of astrology in the right perspective and with deep thought and logic is what I would like to talk about. This is my opinion about what sages have told, and others may have different opinions, and I respect everybody's opinion. So please, friends, understand. This is my interpretation of what has been said. Now, what is Vakri? What is retrogression? Retrogression primarily is described as the Cheshta Bala of a planet. One, this needs to be understood. Cheshta means doing something. Okay. How does it occur? The reason is the difference in speed of Earth's rotation and the planet's rotation. So because of this difference of speed, what happens, like in those who have travelled by railways can understand when another railway is going by your side, sometimes you feel as if you are going backwards, whereas you are stationary and that train is moving, or vice versa. So this is sort of an optical illusion caused because of the fact that we look at planets from Earth. That is how Vedic astrology views planets. We view them from the point of view of Earth because, as I have already explained in earlier lectures, it is the magnetic energy of that planet that is affecting the people on Earth, including human beings, which are us. And so that is how we look at it. That is how we calculate the distances. The degrees. Degrees are with respect to Earth. The position of the planet with respect to the point of birth of a person is what is natal chart about. So natal chart in a way is the transit chart of the moment of birth. So having understood this, now another thing we must understand is that it is the brightness of the planet which has been given great importance in how they affect our mind and thereby our actions and thereby the results. As an engineer, look at astrology. This is what is analyzed by the sages and given to us in words that are easy to comprehend for us. So they have given bodies to planets, they have given them colors, and see different areas on which those planets are said to rule, different duties to the planets, like being king, being a servant, being commander-in-chief, and so on and so forth. And we see this happening all over, So Vakrabal is called Cheshtabal, and what is the Cheshtabal of sun and moon is the next question, because when we call Vakrabal or planets being in strength because of planets being in retrogression or Cheshtabal. So what is said? The sages have made things very clear. See, they have said Sadaiva Vakrina Daityo Suryendu Shigrago Yata. That the Daityas are Rahu and Ketu. We have, in the last two lectures on Rahu and Ketu, we have seen how he was a demon or Daitya or whatever you want to call him, somebody who is opposed to Devas, the Suras, so he is Asura, and he always travels retrograde because these are imaginary points, the nodes of moon, which appear only, actually visually we can see them only during eclipse as shadows. That is why they are called the shadow grahas, the tamo graha, the dark planets. And then they say Surya Indu. Surya means sun, Indu means moon. They shigra go yata. They always go in direct motion. they never retrograde. That is because it is very simple to understand. Moon revolves around Earth, so there is no difference in the speeds, because Earth's speed dictates speed of Moon, whereas Earth itself moves around Sun. So Sun is stationary with respect to Earth, though he would also be in motion somewhere. And that you can, if you have any doubt about it, you can read the Surya Siddhanta and things would become perhaps a bit more clear. And then the sage go on to say, Surya Mukta Udiyante. Once planet moves away from Sun, he is said to have arisen. He rises, so that means he becomes visible. Shighraha khete dhane rave. When a planet is in the second house from Sun, he goes at a higher speed. With respect to what? His average speed for the entire, is going around the entire Bhachakra, as we call it, or the zodiac. Whatever is the total time required is to be averaged out, which is the summer, or you can call the average speed. Here, when he goes to the second house, the planets start moving faster. Then, in third house, what happens? Tritiyecha samaha prokta. It is said that he becomes even in the third house. So, the speed is almost near the average speed that we calculate. Prokta means say. So, Tritiyehe samaha proktas chaturthe mandagamina. Once he enters the fourth house from Sun, always remember this is from Sun, position of planet from Sun, he becomes slow. Why? Because that is the moment when he will start appearing to be going backwards, because Earth's speed becomes faster than the speed of the planet, and this is more so, or more rather felt with more intensity in case of the upper planets, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on. So he becomes slow because he is now slowing down. As he is going faster, then he becomes almost at the same speed as Earth, and then he becomes slower because now he is moving backwards. Rather, he appears to move backward because Earth is going forward, where we are. So, Proktas Chaturthe Mandagamina Bhano Shashthe Panchamecha Vakrascha Ashtama Saptame. When does he become retrograde? When he is from 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th from Sun, the planets appears to be travelling in the reverse direction because we are going ahead of that planet. Okay. Then he says, what happens after 8th? Ati vakra sputa dharme. He becomes even more retrograde when he enters the 9th house from the Sun. Because now you will understand it very easily if you look at the strength of Moon with Pakshabala, but I will talk about it later on. So, Ati Vakraha Sputa Dharme Dashame Marga Gaminaha. When he enters the 10th house, he again becomes regular. His motion becomes regular. It appears to be regular to us. So, Earth goes backwards, and because Earth has moved faster, and so it will come behind that planet, he will appear to be going in the straight direction. So he becomes Marga Gamina, which means like summer, he becomes steady. The average speed is again ahead. Then what happens? Labha Dwadashake Shighra. When in 11th and in 12th, he again gains speed. So you can find, or you can understand, from 11th to 2nd, he is fast. In the 3rd, he becomes a bit, he gains the average speed. In the 4th, he becomes slow. From 6th to 9th, 6th to 8th, he is Vakra. In 9th, he becomes even more faster. He appears to move very at a faster pace backwards, and then he again becomes summer, the average speed. Naturally, to compensate this, in 11th and 12th, he appears to move very fast till he meets Sun again and is combust or loses his strength. Okay. Now, how does this play out? So they say yada vakro bhavet graha lavatvadarshake shighra yada vakro bhavet graha saumyo ati saumyascha ugro ati papaha shighraha swabhavavata. So it is very simple. When yada vakro bhavet graha means when planet becomes retrograde, the benefics become more benefic, the malefics or cruel become more cruel, and when he is in the faster motion, he obviously, when also he is in the average motion, the planets gives whatever are his natural effects. So Saumya, that is benefic, will become benefic, not extra benefic, not more benefic, and even the malefic will become malefic of a standard strength or parameter or whatever is the average malefic part of it. And this is the retrograde graha. Now if you look at what else is said, then what is said is sun gets cheshta bala because his ayana bala is cheshta bala, and uttara ayan, the northern ingress of sun when he crosses Capricorn is said to be the Uttarayan when he gains strength. Now why? Because if you look and read Sanhitas, you will find they are talking that this science, rather at least the Sanhita science, is more applicable for places up to Tropic of Cancer. So naturally when the sun moves from equator onwards, the intensity of his brightness will grow. Here also what is happening, when with sun the planets lose their light, their brightness. As they go away from sun, their brightness increases, and it is again said that Paksha Bala of Chandra is its Cheshta Bala or Vakra Bala. What is moon's Vakra Bala or Cheshta Bala? When he has Paksha Bala. Again, how do we talk about Paksha Bala? We again talk about Krishna Ashtami, and see, you can understand what is happening. Once the new moon is passed, from then the bright half of moon, the fortnight of moon begins. Then it is said that when he is in the 8th tithi of the bright fortnight, moon starts gaining strength, because visually you look more portion of moon. You have seen moon at different tithis. I am sure you are astrologers should see till Purnima, when full moon is there, when he is stood fully effulgent. So it is almost as if he is in extreme Vakra stage, and then he goes on losing it till Krishna Ashtami on this side, the 8th tithi of the dark fortnight, isn't it? From then onwards he goes on losing strength. Now you look at this and you can understand again the same principle is being applied. At the same places they start losing their strength, and so on and so forth. My own opinion is, even when he is at a fast speed, the planet loses some of the strength. Not much, but perhaps some of the strength. This is, of course, my opinion. The learned can have their own opinion. We also see that when talking about Graha Yuddha, the fight between planets, you will also see again that the brightness of the planet is given extreme importance. So Acharya Varahamihira has already said it in Brihad Samhita. I am sure all of you are very learned. You must have read that topic, because though that is not part of Hora, ultimately all three are intermingling. The Siddhanta, the Sanhita and the Hora, they are interdependent, the principles are similar, the application is at different places. So the great Varahamihira says that the planet who is bright when in Graha Yuddha, that is within 1 degree of each other, wins. Those in north will always be victorious. Those in south, they are talking about the Shara, the latitudinal part of it. In the 7 degrees belt, and which extends almost 8 degrees on either side of equator. That is where the planets travel. So one who is on the northern side is always victorious, but he also goes outside. Whichever planet appears to be brighter in such case, whether to north or the south of the planet concerned with whom he is fighting, that planet which has brightness is always the victor. Most of the astrologer texts talk about Venus always being victorious, whether on the northern side or the southern side of the planet with whom he is in fight with, because Venus is a very bright planet. So even within 1 degree of other, I mean, of course, the Graha, as you know, is within only the 5 planets, not with moon or sun, because with sun they become combust, with moon they gain strength. So we have to understand, moon has a very soft light, so naturally they don't lose their brightness. So the concept is clear, I hope. So Vakra Graha will always give you more strength. Whether it will be good or bad will depend on his position, in which bhava, in that bhava whether a malefic is required or a benefic is required. You know, in 3, 6, 11 malefics are supposed to be good, but all these things are to be taken in the right perspective and you will reach the right conclusion. One more thing I would like to add to what has already been said, and that is, in my view, as I have explained earlier, that the planets since Earth moves ahead of the planets and the slow moving planets go back, so they appear to be as if retrograde, as if moving backward, because we map them against the nakshatras. And so, to my mind, the magnetic flux or the field that they are creating starts affecting another part of Earth. And if we look at Earth as the Jataka himself, because we look at the chart as Jataka itself, and he is, of course, the position is decided by where he is on the Earth, then to my mind there would be some influence on the bhava just prior to the bhava in which the planet has become Vakri, and its aspects would also work as if in reverse direction, not wholly but to some extent. So like in case of Saturn, he aspects the 3rd house, but there would also be some influence of Saturnian tendencies or thought processes on the 11th house, and instead of 10th also on the 4th house, but that doesn't mean the aspect from the 10th or the 3rd is gone or extinguished. There is some more, let us say, focus on the other houses. 7th house of course remains as it is. In case of Guru there would not be any difference noticeable, because the influence of 5th will go to 9th and 9th to 5th. In case of Mars, of course, there will be difference, because instead of 4th it will be the 10th, instead of 8th it will be the 6th, where some influence of Mars or Martian tendencies or whatever is attributed to Mars would be felt by the Jataka himself, resulting in his certain of his actions, which might result in something happening there, which we call as the fortune or fate or predestined. Nothing is predestined. I mean, though the potential exists, that is predestined, but how you use the potential or the how you use that potential energy, what kinetic energy you apply to give it some direction and some strength, are all things which are interconnected. And so I thought I should add this to what I have already told and I am going to tell, and I hope the learned will try themselves on real life chart and find out whether this contention is right, because though this is not written in any of the texts, I think, being an engineer, the way I look at it is more the electromagnetic field operating on our own brain, which gives results to certain things. Our own brain is programmed in a particular fashion, so everybody's brain reacts in a different fashion to the same movement of the planets. And so that is it. Do let me know what you think about it. And so we will proceed with the next. I'm running out of time. It is almost 22 minutes that I have spoken, and YouTube, though it doesn't restrict, but it is not fair to go on talking. I can talk all the while, but you will get bored, my friends. And so I hope I have been able to explain the retrograde planets to some extent. If my lecture is of use, I am very happy. As usual, do comment, do let me know, and how I can improve upon whatever knowledge I can deliver, or the way in which I can add value to your knowledge. I also learn from your remarks. So friends, goodbye and thank you very much.